NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
I feel like I was young coming into my first NFR, and I feel like you're on top of the world there for a minute. But again, at the same time, you're coming into a whole new world, nothing I'd ever been a part of. But to this day, looking back at a kid, I'm like, I still didn't believe I was there in that moment.
For me now, like I don't really say same way. I don't think I'm in a rut. I'm blessed to get to rope and do that for a living, and not many people can do that and do what they love to do every day.
I always say it's 80% mental and the rest is in your head, because I know how to ride broncs. My body knows what to do. My muscle memory's there. When I'm having troubles, it's 100% mental.
Hey everybody, this is Steve Godert, and you're listening to the NFR Extra.
I feel like we're going to listen to Shad and Riley talk a lot.
I was about to say, we could really get in.
Yeah, we could get into it over here.
And if that happens, Ryder,
we're joining forces right here.
That's right.
Joining forces.
We're connecting the whole arena. So, and you're cowboy enough, right? I mean, you're not just riding bucking horses. Like there's a couple of your horses that I've seen on your IG that I'm like, okay, if maybe that could be an announcing horse one day.
Nothing like these.
Ryder, how old are you?
27.
27. Chad, what, you're 24?
24.
So I feel like,
3-year gap within all three of us.
Yeah, 21, 24, 27. A lot's changed probably from when you started to, different events, but I'd say.
Yeah.
Are we live?
I would imagine.
Okay.
Well, and it's cool to me, though, that we just had dinner, and I was going around the table trying to figure out the oldest and youngest world champion at that dinner, right? Because, I made a comment last year at that same dinner that when you're surrounded by these people, you don't realize this may never happen again, and you don't want to take those moments for granted, because we sat down with Oat Berry and Joe Beaver and all these different people that we're watching have conversations, and it amazes me that they are now passing the torch to guys like you.
Yeah, it's being able to sit there with them guys. I think I take last week, for instance, I attended Roy Cooper's memorial, and just hearing all the stories and being there, like I felt like I wanted to be there in that presence, to live it, and like being there at dinner with all the past guys and meeting some of them. Like I heard some stories from a couple of them. I think the guy that won maybe the bareback ride, and I can't think of his name. He was like, I gave your dad a ride to Calgary in 1985 when my dad won Calgary, and my dad, he left the final. He didn't think he made the Final Four round. They called him, and that guy gave him a ride back. And just hearing all the cool stories and being around them, that's a memory you'll have forever.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oat Berry, we were sitting by Oat Berry, and he said he had won every 4 times he's won the world, but every reunion and that's pretty crazy for a guy to do that. And what's this? So it was 85.
But it was the people that they opened up Vegas. Like they opened up what we're at now. That's the first generation to come into being in Vegas, and now 40 years later, here we are being able to continue their legacy. That's something. And really cool to be a part of.
And Ryder, you grew up coming here. So what was that like as a kid coming here, following your dad around?
Oh, it was awesome. This is, like you said, I've grown up coming here every single year. I've been to every perf at the NFR since 2003. And to be able to come here and do the things that I've done along some of the guys that I've done them, competed against, and it's pretty special.
So give me an NFR memory you have that doesn't involve your family. So what's one of your favorite NFR memories that does not involve somebody in a blue shirt?
Good luck.
Has there ever been a time you ain't been in a blue shirt here?
I can't think of any memories that don't involve my family.
Did y'all compete in like the junior NFR stuff coming up? Was that around for y'all?
No, I don't think they did that when I was younger.
No.
Or I didn't know about it. We didn't do nothing like that. We did, junior high, high school finals and stuff like that, but nothing.
It's crazy when he said 2000. He's been to every purse since 2003. I was born in 2003. So that's crazy for him to say he's been to every purse since then. That is wild.
Yeah, so I mean, I can imagine your mom and dad carrying around diaper bags and having to do all that while also, completing sponsor obligations and going to the rodeo. I mean, I can only imagine what that's like as a parent trying to compete.
Yeah, my mom and dad, they told us a story. One of the first year my dad made it here, you get the host hotel or whatever, they give you a room, and it's not big, 2 beds, and so it was my mom and dad. There was 4 of us at the time, and then my grandma and grandpa came and brought all of their kids that were still living in their house, and we all stayed in that one room. So
wow.
We were sleeping on clothes bags, and it was. I don't remember it. I was too young, but it's just there was probably 15, 20 people in that room.
That's awesome.
That makes it a family affair, though. So let's go to your first qualifications. All right. So Shad, what was it like the first time you qualified to the NFR? I mean, what's kind of going through your mind?
I feel like I was kind of starstruck there for a moment. I feel like I was young coming into my first NFR, and I feel like you're on top of the world there for a minute. But again, at the same time, you're coming into a whole new world, nothing I'd ever been a part of. But, I still, to this day, looking back at a kid, I'm like, I still didn't believe I was there in that moment. And it's no other feeling riding in the Thomas and Mack like when we go in early to prepare the calves. And I was 19 years old, and I'm looking back like, holy crap. I was here for the junior NFR last year thinking this was all a dream, and here I am. But, I feel like that's when all the hard work pays off when you ride into that building, no matter what happens. It's like I'm here. As a kid, you always wonder, like, am I ever good enough to be there? And that's just that's all it told me is I'm made it. All my hard work's paid off.
I think me and Shad's our careers have been aligned pretty similar, really. Growing up, the junior opens, we both won a lot at the junior opens. Everybody talked about us growing up. Hey, this could be the next, Joe Beaver, Fred Whitfield, whoever, Cody Ole, whoever it might be. And they all, we roped at the junior NFR, and then our first year we both made it. What yours was in 2019? Mine was in 22. We both were young, and we both had an old horse, and
literally the same.
It's literally the same deal. And everybody expected us to win a bunch, and we both kind of didn't feel like. I mean, we were there, but it was like a movie to us, and it didn't have the finals we wanted to, and then come back the next year, and we both had a great year, and then since then we've been both battling it out. So it's really kind of crazy how it's been. Our careers are really similar.
That first NFR just kind of escalated us to where we're at today. And like you could say, like me and Riley, we both made our first NFR on just a horse. And now I feel like that helped us to get our dream horses and what we really need right now. And I won a world championship my second year. Riley won a world championship his second year. And things have kind of fell into place from there, as well as I'll break the arena single season earning record. He'll come back and break it. We've been vice versa for years now. So,
not even at the pros. It's been since 15 years old.
Since we were kids, we've been just like that. And like I said, it's all started with that first year. And looking back at it now, a lot's changed since then.
Well, but managing pressure and expectations, as you guys talk about coming out of the junior ranks, that makes some people galvanized and other people it crushes, right? I mean, when somebody keeps telling you, hey, you're going to be great, you're going to be great, like you can start to believe that, but then there's going to be a roadblock. It's not all going to be a golden paved road. I mean, Ryder, it's the same thing for you. I mean, your father's a world champion. Spencer's a world champion. Jesse's a world champion. You have all these Wrights who are world champions. So, I I mean, we always make the announcer joke that, hey, if you don't have a gold buckle, you can't go home for Thanksgiving. But it's difficult, is it not, growing up, being a Wright, knowing, hey, I've got this peak that I'm trying to reach just to keep up with the family.
I mean, you know, it's always there. That thought's always in the back of your mind, but I've never tried to think about that, you know, because I've watched my dad and my uncles, you know, be at the top and then, you know, hit those roadblocks that you're talking about. But I've seen all those guys push through them. So I knew that there was light at the end of the tunnel when I would hit those things. So I never really felt like it was a roadblock to me, just more of a speed bump.
Okay. Now, something that, speaking of roadblocks, I want to know how you guys get out of ruts, because I was, when we were flying in today, I just kept thinking to myself, we interviewed Caleb Schmidt a few years back, and Caleb said he got to a point where when he knew pockets was sound, he stopped practicing. He said, as long as my horse is good, I've run so many practice calves, like I know I can go compete with anybody because I have said horse. But that obviously doesn't work for everybody, you know, and you're going to have those snags. So I say all of that to question, when you get on the road, what do you guys do to help yourselves get out of said rut? You know, because you can't always just go run some practice calves somewhere. Sometimes you're overnight into the next rodeo. You can't go get on another practice bronc. What do you do to kind of get over said hurdle?
I feel like I try not to ever think I'm in a rut, you know, and I've rodeoed for, this is my 7th year rodeoing, and I feel like I've gotten out there in the summer and things haven't gone my way, where I'll sit there and I'll stop and think, like, you know, I'm in a slump, need to go run some practice calves, need to go tune up, you know, and I've done that, but it's never really turned around. But as I've gotten, you know, more mature in the way I rodeo and stuff, I've learned, and like I don't even really practice anymore. I learned that it's more mental. Like if I keep my body feeling right and my horse is feeling right, then things are going to fall into place. You know, there's going to be times I'll be drawing bad calves, but if I'm doing my job, things are going to turn around. They're going to start drawing good calves for me. My luck's going to turn around. I know that if my horses are working and if my body's feeling right, then I could do whatever I feel like I can do, just as long as I'm drawing good. But, you know, if they're drawing bad calves for me, then and as long as I'm doing my job, I don't take it as a rut. I'm just taking, you know, I just got to get on the good end of the drawing board, and they're going to start drawing good calves for me or something like that. But mainly I've just all taken it here lately as it's mental. You know, if you could go back, you know, back when you were a kid and just, you know, back when I was practicing and doing it over and over and over again and reliving that, then I feel like that's when you can dig deep and pull out of whatever you're going through.
I agree. Growing up younger, I know I can say this because I know Shad's the same way. We've ran so many practice calves, and we've been in so many junior ropings, jackpots since we've been 12 years old, that now we're kind of calloused, and we still practice, but we're not running 25, 30 calves a day we're got what we need to work on and can work on it and not kill our bodies, because it's not what Ryder's doing, but at the same time, it takes a toll on your body, and you run that many practice calves, your body gets tired and stuff. But for me now, like I don't really say same way. I don't think I'm in a rut. I'm blessed to get to rope and do that for a living, and not many people can do that and do what they love to do every day. So I just try to wake up every day and be thankful I get to rope and do the best I can, and you know, learn from my mistakes. Obviously, I want to win, but at the end of the day, I just try to go the next one and do the best I can.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, I'm the same way as these guys. Like for me, I always say it's 80% mental and the rest is in your head. Because I know how to ride broncs. My body knows what to do. My muscle memory's there. But the only thing when I'm having troubles, it's 100% mental. You know, something's not right mentally. And it's, you know, I can count on one hand how many practice horses I've been on since I started pro rodeoing. You know, that's the last thing I want to do when I get home from 5 rodeos this week. So, but like I said, my body knows how to ride broncs, and, you know, sometimes my mind does things, and that's where all the mistakes come from. So if you keep a sharp mental game I'm sure it's the same in the timed events, but, you know, sharp minds, you can't beat them.
Do you guys have a practice horse at home that you fight over? And what's its name?
I've never fought anybody to get on a practice horse. we have some old campaigner like NFR horses.
Yeah.
Barty give us one called Round Robin. My dad's won rounds at the NFR on him. We got another one called Son of Sadie. My dad's won a lot of money on that horse. I've won money on the horse. We've all won money on it, and he's living the good life at our house.
That's awesome.
And I think all of us are blessed, that I feel like we get a rodeo comfortably. There's like my rookie year, things looked a little different the way I was rodeoing. I was back in the box to make enough money to get to the next rodeo, and that's a little different kind of pressure that you could put on yourself, and that's how you could take, being in a rut or something a little different. But, I feel like that's what's made us all great, because we could push through those moments to get. And I know me and Riley, like we said, we've come up the same. Like, we didn't just have everything right then and there. And, like we set ourselves up. That's what made us so tough now, I feel like, because we pushed through those moments to get to where we're at now, to be able to be in a lot more comfortable way to rodeo, that, if we're in a rut, that we're not just fighting our head like, holy crap, I got to make some money to get to the next rodeo, do this or that, to pay bills at home. It's like we're still comfortable to be able to be out here and just having fun doing it.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back. It's that time of year. It's time for Vegas. Finding your custom NFR experience can start now. This resource makes your NFR planning so much easier. At nfrexperience.com/stay your way, you can shop for the hotel that best fits your plans. You can find information on viewing parties, concerts, price, transportation, location, and so much more, all in one place. Don't waste time searching for your NFR experience. We have you covered. Go to nfrexperience.com/stay your way. It's time for Vegas. Stay your way.
Well, it's funny you say that, because there have been people back home that, they don't travel as much, and they go, okay, such and such, whoever roper it is, hey, he's one of the best in our area. Why can't that guy ever make the NFR? And I said, when you talk to guys that consistently make it year after year, there's a junkyard dog mentality, that, hey, we can be friends in the parking lot, but once we get in the arena, it's you're going to eat or I'm going to eat. And the lead dog usually always eats. For instance, a guy like in the team rope and Luke Brown, he's made the NFR 14 or 15 times. And when you talk to other team ropers about him, they're like, Luke's going to place everywhere he goes. So if you're going to put somebody's back against the wall, that's a guy that's just going to continually going to eat. And when I hear these conversations, I see that in each and every one of you. None of you were given an opportunity. You took that opportunity and you made your own way. So I can see that and hear that in the stories you're telling. And both of you, I witnessed at the junior NFR and saw the progress that you made. And Ryder, whenever we just talk back and forth with your family members, you guys weren't independently wealthy. You guys have worked and earned everything that you've ever done.
Yeah, we get a lot that, your dad's Cody Wright, so you get handed everything or whatever. We still get it, blue shirt bonus, that's my favorite one. But like,
you're getting extra points,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's a right. He gets 5 extra, yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah, we still have to get on. We still have to ride. I know, sure, my dad, he has opened a lot of doors for us that we didn't have to open. Like I had 3 or 4 sponsors that paid me good before I was even out of high school, but through my dad, like connections of my dad and stuff like that. But I had to put in the work and put in the practice when I was in high school coming up to prove to those guys that I am the real deal. I do know what I'm doing, and I'm going to have a spot, in the history books.
And I've had multiple successful business people tell me the same thing. I can get you a job interview. You got to win the job. Right. So yeah, there's going to be opportunities afforded to all of us, but you guys have to earn that spot and earn that right to be called a champion. Now, Shad, you now have a new gold buckle. So talk a little bit about that and how cool it was to win an all-around buckle.
It was, it's hard to say. I mean, it was a heck of a year for sure. I had a big start in the calf roping, winning a lot of big rodeos. The winter felt like I couldn't be stopped. I won Fort Worth, San Antonio, a couple others that I had so much money won. And honestly, you know, if Stetson's injury, that's what kind of, you know, boosted someone to do that. And I don't wish that on nobody.
Sure.
But, you know, it kind of opened a door for me to learn a new event. And that's when I kind of started going into steer roping and stuff. And I always wanted to start steer roping. I just never just had a big enough reason to just drop what I was doing because I felt like I hadn't even had calf roping figured out. You know, it's hard to go out there and just pick up a new event and just go do it. And, you know, that's when I said, man, I'd like to start steer roping. You know, my grandpa, he was really big in steer roping and was a big steer roping fan, and I knew it was something I wanted to do for him as well. So, you know, it was hard at first. I went to a few steer trippings at first and didn't win a penny, and then I was like, I got to kind of figure something out, and I actually went and bought a steer roping horse. I was like, if I'm going to do it, then I'm going to dang sure invest into it and try to get good at it. And as soon as I bought a steer roping horse, I kind of started picking it up, started picking up checks here and there and started liking it, and then started team roping as well. I won some money team roping with a pretty cool healer of mine, but, you know, the season, it was nothing until it come down to the NFR, and I felt like that was a whole nother battle outside of just calf roping. You know, I was battling team ropers and a bull rider as well, and, you know, it was just that part is something I will never forget. You know, instead of just back in the box worrying about what Riley's doing or so-and-so in my event's doing, I'm like, well, there's a bull rider on the end of the arena that could do this, or a team roper that just went. So it kind of created a whole new competition in me to go outside of just calf roping and competing, and that's what I really enjoyed about it.
Do you guys watch leaderboards at all?
I do. I check into everything.
Riley?
Sometimes. Yes and no, I'd say. If it's going good, you always want to check it.
Sure.
Yeah. I would say I've tried to get away from it. I would say my rookie year, yes, I checked it every day, every hour, you know. And now I've tried to just get away from that and just trying to do my job every time I get the chance to run one and make my run, and hopefully it's better than what Shad did that day.
Sure.
And if whatever it is, just try to do my job and make a good run and not worry about what everybody else is doing, and just try to, if that's good enough, it's good enough.
Ryder?
No, I don't like to look at that stuff. No, I just like to go do my thing, you know, because like these guys say, you know, you have no control over what the other guy's going to do. So I'm just try to stay in my own lane and do what I know how to do, and hopefully the card's falling my way.
Well, I've heard a lot of people bragging on Shad's golf game. So I mean, I love comparing our sport to golf when it comes to leaderboards, because leaderboards are everywhere at a golf tournament, right? And there have been a lot of guys that after they get done, if they finish second or third, they're like, well, I got to 16 and I was peeking up and saw such and such was doing this. And to me, in our sport more than any, you just have to go do your job, right? I mean, if there's a certain time you have to beat, okay, I would love that information, right? But you can't make a horse buck any harder. You know, yes, you pushing your rein forward and spurring a horse might help one, but you're not going to turn a 18-point horse into a 23-point horse. You're not going to do it.
It's all different too. The starts are different.
Yes.
The calves are, you know, but you want to not just saying, oh, I want to go make a run.
Right. Correct.
I want to max the barrier out every time I get a chance and max the calf at it. Not just, all right, go make a practice pen run. Hopefully it's good enough. I want to do the very best possible, but not worry about the rest.
I feel like you got to stay in your own lane regardless. You can only do what you can do. And I always go back to the saying is the only way you can be beat is if you beat yourself. And that's been the biggest thing that I've gone off for a long time is you can only beat yourself. That's it. And, you know, if you get caught up looking about what everybody else is doing too much, then it could be that's when you start beating yourself and getting ahead of yourself. You know, so-and-so goes out here and does this. Well, it's like, you feel like you get off task in a way, trying to beat somebody instead of just going out there and doing what you know how to do.
All right. And instead of asking the canned question of what advice would you give to kids, parents, whatever, what would 16-year-old Ryder Wright need to hear from today's Ryder Wright?
That's hard to say because my dad was, has been my coach forever, and so he still teaches me things. So I'm keep listening to your dad. That's all I would say.
It's great advice.
Well, that's
great advice.
Really good advice, really, because some people could be your greatest tool is listening to your parents.
Yeah, and like to add to that, like I love Stetson's thing about my dad, and he growing up riding bulls, Stetson. My dad would always try to help Stetson, teach Stetson with the bull riding, and Stetson's just like, "You're a bronc rider, you don't know what you're talking about." So he would kind of just push that. But he said, I get up here to these talking to all these JB Mooney and all these big bull riders, and he said they just tell me the exact same thing my dad's always told me. So they know a lot more than you think they know.
Sure.
It's hard to realize when you're young, too.
Oh, listen, I don't want to interrupt you guys before you two answer that question, but I always joke with people. When I started college at 19, my parents were idiots, and I wasn't even sure if they loved me. When I graduated college at 22, I realized my parents love me a lot, and they're pretty smart, So, so Shad, what would you tell teenage Shad?
Biggest thing I'd tell myself back then is just to have confidence in yourself. But another thing I'd tell myself is to find God. I feel like if you can find God at even a younger age, it's going to push you so many more ways to go wherever you want, because, you could get caught up into, especially what we do is what everyone thinks about you or this or that. But the only thing that matters, is what am I doing for God? Because at the end of it, that's the only door that's going to be important into what I'm walking into. And that's what I've learned a lot coming out. And I wish, at 16 that I could have told myself that. And, if you have God right there with you, then you could believe anything. You could, have access to talk to him. You could have confidence in yourself. You could have everything you're looking for.
Riley?
Yeah, I'd say, my old grandma always is beating my head, do your best and leave the rest to God. So since I've been a little bitty kid, she, beat that in my head, and I've believed her and, followed God, and he's always been there with me and my whole family. Work hard, never give up, give it your best every time. And, you never know who's watching you, and it's a little kid, and your actions could change the trajectory of that little boy's or little girl's life. So, try to be a good role model, even if it didn't come out to this, being a world champion or anything like that. Just be the best version of myself I can be.
Ryder, if you entered the tie-down roping, how fast would you be?
Not fast enough.
Don't even ask.
I was just going to ask if you guys could make the whistle, because I've
not on some of them, bro.
No,
I don't.
I'll stand on the back of the chutes for 8 seconds.
So
I like watching the rust talk, and I like helping them, and I like being down there, but I would never get on.
So, first PRCA performance I ever announced, horseback. I get on this horse that's older than me, and during the bronc riding, like this horse is, anyway, he's moving in very, very slow motion. He buckles at the knee and just rolls over. And I mean, it takes him 30 seconds to like lay on his side. And I just like stepped off of him, and I'm like, here we go. We're going to make a career out of this.
Growing up, I wanted to be a bull rider. That's it. I don't know.
Did you ever get on a bull?
I'm getting there.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, growing up, it was always, I didn't even care about calf roping. I had my dad, they got me a little bull riding chute built and a calf roping pen, and I'd ride a calf every day. That's all I wanted to do. Go to the junior rodeos. I entered the calf riding. Then it went up to the 13, 15 steer riding, but it wasn't steers because them steers had nuts.
Yep.
So so it was bull riding. And I remember I got slammed into the chute and lost my hair. And I said, Dad, I think I just want to be a roper now.
Yeah.
So
Broken egg in that
ever
chicken.
since then, that was it. That was it for the rough stock.
Well, guys, you've given us all kinds of memories here at the NFR and everywhere that you go, and it's been an honor spending some time with you guys, and we look forward to seeing you back inside the Thomas and Mack.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit nfrexperience.com, and we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.